Issuing a check from your student organization fund. How to complete the check request form. You can use the request for check form to have a check issued to a vendor or to reimburse a student for an amount over $300. The check request is in a PDF format. You should download the form to your computer to use a writable PDF format. You will need to be able to print this form for submission. When paying a vendor, there are two other documents you need to include with the check request form. You will need to include an invoice, and you will need to include a copy of their W-9. When reimbursing a student, you will need to include receipts. Let's begin completing this form by entering your information as the author of the form. You will need to enter your information in the top right box. Enter today's date as the submission date. Enter the date you will need the check issued as date needed. Keep in mind that it can take up to 2 weeks for a check to be issued. Enter your student organization under Club Organization. Enter your name as the contact name, then enter your phone and/or email. Enter your advisor's name under Advisor Name. Next, let's enter the information of the vendor or student that you will be paying. Include the vendor's full name and address. If you are paying a student, include their full name and home address. For vendors, you will need to enter in their federal tax ID number. Refer to their W-9 for this information. For students, you will need to enter in their banner ID. Next, choose whether this check will be mailed to payee or held for pickup. If you choose to have the check mailed, the check will be sent directly to the vendor using the address provided. Or, if you're paying a student, the check will be mailed to the student's home address on file with the university. If you choose hold for pickup, the accounts payable office will contact the person of your choosing by phone when the check is issued and ready for pickup. I always suggest choosing hold for pickup and, if needed, mailing the check yourself for 2 reasons. First, you will be able to better track the processing of your request, and second, you can assure the check isn't sent to the wrong address or lost in the mail. If you select Mail Check to Payee, you will not be notified when the check is mailed. In the middle of the form, you will need to provide information about your club fund. Under Fund, enter your club's fund number. This number begins with an 81. Skip the next column titled Org. An org is another sort of bank account, but clubs do not use them. In the last column titled Account, you will need to choose and enter an account number. Account numbers are simply a number assigned to a certain type of expense. This allows the university to code and reference all types of expenses. For instance, if you're purchasing catering, there is an account code meaning food. If you hire a bus, there is an account code meaning lease bus. Choose from the list of commonly used account numbers to pick an account. In this case, I'm going to choose the account for food, as this check will be for catering for an event. I will enter 702-403 under account. The amount spent out of this fund and this account is $700. I will enter that in the amount. You'll see there are multiple lines to add different funds, accounts, and amounts. You would use more than one line if you were spending out of multiple accounts. For example, let's say I'm paying an events company for both catering and for rental of a movie screen. I would separate these 2 types of expenses and assign them the appropriate account numbers. The vendor will receive one check, but the 2 different accounts will be documented in your fund. After you enter all your expenses, the PDF form should create a total for you. If not, enter your total. Next, you will need to fill out the purpose for your payment. Enter 1 or 2 sentences describing why you are requesting this check. If you are issuing this check to a student for expenses related to travel, you will need to add in extra information. You will need to enter the travel dates, the destination, and the participants' names. You must submit the request for check form along with your invoice and W-9 to the Office of Student Involvement for approval. Before doing so, you and your advisor must sign the form. Drop the form off in the Office of Student Involvement in our Financial Forms Dropbox. We will review your form, approve it, and submit it to the Accounts Payable Office for processing. Whenever you submit a form, be sure you make a copy of the form along with any other documents you'll be submitting, just in case. We always recommend submitting your request for check form 2 weeks in advance.